I am an African.
I am African. I owe my being to the hills and the valleys, the mountains and the glades, the rivers, deserts, the trees, the flowers, the seas, and the ever-changing seasons that define the face of the native land.
My body has frozen in our frosts and in our later day snows. It has thawed in the warmth of our sunshine and melted in the heat of the midday sun. The crack and the rumble of the summer thunders, lashed by startling lightning, have been a cause both of trembling and hope.
The fragrance of the nature has been as pleasant to us as the sight of the wild blooms of the citizens of their field. The dramatic shapes of Drakensberg, the soil-colored waters of Italy, Noptugela, and have all been panels of the set on the natural stage, on which we act out foolish deeds of the theatre of our day.
And in fear, I have wondered whether I should concede equal citizenship of our country. The leopard, the lion, the elephant, and the springbok, the hyena, the black mamba, and the pestilential mosquito.
A human presence among all these, a feature on the face of our native land, thus defined. I know none dare challenge me when I say I am an African.
I owe my being to the clay and the sand whose desolate souls hand the great expenses of the beautiful cave. They who fell victim to the most merciless genocide our native land has ever seen. They who were the first to lose their lives in the struggle to defend our freedom and independence, and they who, as a person, perished in the desire.
Today, as a country, we keep an audible silence about these ancestors of a generation that live, fearful to admit the horror of a former deed, seeking to obliterate our memories. A cruel occurrence which, in its remembering, should teach us not and never to be inhuman again.
I am formed of the migrants who left Europe to find a new home on our native land. Whatever their own actions, they remain still part of me.
My veins courses the blood of the Malay slaves who came from the east. Their proud dignity informs my bearing, their culture a part of my essence. The stripes they bore on their bodies from the lash of the slave master are a reminder embossed on my consciousness of what should not be done.
I am the grandchild of the warrior men and women that Hinta and Sekukuni led, the patriots that Setraya and Mpepe took to battle, the soldiers Mushosha and Ngunyani taught never to dishonor the cause of freedom. My mind and my knowledge of myself is formed by the victories that are the jewels in our African crown, the victories we earned from Isandra to Koto, as Ethiopians and as the Ashanti of Ghana, as the Berbers of the desert.
I am
the grandchild who lays fresh flowers on the broad graves at St. Helena and the Bahamas, who sees in the mind's eye and suffers the suffering of a simple peasant folk. Death, concentration camps, destroyed homesteads, a dream in ruins.
I am the child of Nangaus. I am he who made it possible to trade in the world markets in diamonds, in gold, in the same food for which my stomach yearns.
I come of those who were transported from India and China, whose being resided in the fact solely that they were able to provide physical labor, who taught me that we could both be at home and be foreign, who taught me that human existence itself demanded that freedom was a necessary condition for that human existence.
Being part of all these people, and in the knowledge that none dare contest that association, I shall claim that I'm an African.
I
have seen our country turn us under as this all, of whom my people engaged one another in this totally battle, the one to redress a wrong that had been caused by one to another, and the other to defend the indefensible.
I have seen what happens when one person has superiority of force over another, when the stronger appropriate to themselves the prerogative even to annul the injunction that God created all men and women in His image.
I know what it signifies when race and color are used to determine who is human and who subhuman.
I have seen the destruction of all sense of self-esteem, the consequent striving to be what one is not, simply to acquire some of the benefits which those who have improved themselves as masters have ensured that they enjoy.
I have experience of the situation which race and color is used to enrich some and impoverish the rest. I have seen the corruption of minds and souls in pursuit of a noble effort to perpetrate a veritable crime against humanity. I have seen concrete expression of the denial of dignity of a human being emanating from the conscious systematic oppressive and repressive activities of other human beings.
There is a vengeance parade with no marks to hide the brutish reality. The beggars, the prostitutes, the street children, those who seek solace in substance abuse, those who have to steal to assuage hunger, those who have to lose their sanity, because to be sane is to invite pain.
Perhaps the worst among these, who are my people, are those who have learned to kill for a wage. To these, the extent of death is directly proportional to their personal welfare.
And so like Paul, in the cities demented souls which they kill in furtherance of political violence, in words we noted they murder the innocent in the tax wars.
They kill us slowly or quickly in order to make profits from the illegal trade in narcotics. They are available for hire when a husband wants to murder a wife and a husband.
Among us prowl the products of our immoral and amoral past. Killers who have no sense of the worth of human life. Rapists who have absolute disdain for the women of our country. Animals who would seek to benefit from the vulnerability of children, the disabled and the old. The rapacious who prove no obstacle in their quest for self-enrichment.
All this I know to be true because I am an African.
Because of that, I'm also able to state this fundamental truth that I'm born of people who are heroes and heroines.
I am born of a people who would not tolerate oppression.
I am of a nation that would not allow the fear of death, torture, imprisonation, exile, or prosecution should result in the perpetuation of injustice.
Great masses who are our mother and father will not permit that the behavior of a few results in the description of our country and people as barbaric.
Patient because history is on their side. These masses do not despair today when the weather is bad. Nor do they turn when triumphalists win. Tomorrow the sun shines. Whatever the circumstances they have lived through, and because of that experience, they are determined to define them for themselves, who they are and who they should be. We are assembled here today to mark their victory in acquiring and exercising their right to formulate in their own definition of what it means to be African.
The Constitution, whose adoption we celebrate, constitutes an unequivocal statement that we refuse to accept that our Africanness be defined by our race, color, gender, or historical origins.
It is a firm assertion made by ourselves that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, black and white. See you in a minute.
It gives concrete expressions to the sentiment we share as Africans, to defend till death, and that the people shall govern.
It recognizes the fact that dignity of the individual is both
an objective which society must pursue, and is a goal which cannot be separated from the material well-being of that individual.
It seeks to create the situation in which all of our people shall be free from fear, including the fear of oppression of one national group by another, the fear of the disempowerment of one social echelon by another, the fear of the use of state power to deny anybody their fundamental human rights, and the fear of tyranny.
It aims to open doors so that those who are disadvantaged can assume that their place in the society as equals to their fellow human being without regard to color, race, gender, age, geography, dispersal. It provides opportunity to enable one another and all state their views, promote them, strive for their implementation in the process of governance without fear that a contrary view will be met with repression.
Creates a law-governed society which shall be inimical to arbitrary rule.
The resolution of conflict by peaceful means rather than resort to force. It rejoices in the diversity of our people and creates the space for all of us voluntarily to define ourselves as one people.
As a South African, this is a feeling of which I am proud. Proud without any reservation and proud without any feeling of conceit.
Our sense of celebration at this moment also diverges from the fact that this magnificent product is the unique creation of African hands and African eyes. But it also constitutes a tribute to our loss of vanity that we could, despite the temptation to treat ourselves as an exceptional fragment of humanity, draw on the accumulated experience and wisdom of all humankind to define for ourselves what we want to be.
Together with the best in the world, we too are prone to pettiness, petulance, selfishness, and short-sightedness.
But it seems to have happened that we looked at ourselves and said the time had come for us to make a superhuman effort to be other than human, to respond to the call to create for ourselves a glorious future, to remind ourselves of the Latin saying, Gloria est consequenda, glory must be sought after. Today, it feels good to be African.
It feels good that I can stand here as a South African, the foot soldier of a titanic African army, the African National Congress, to say to all the parties represented here, to the millions who made an input into the process we are concluding, to our outstanding compatriots who have presided over the birth of our founding documents, to the negotiators who pitted their wits one against the other, the unseen stars who shone unseen as the management and administration of the Constitutional Assembly, the advisors, experts and publicists, to the mass communication media, to our friends across the globe. Congratulations and well done.
I am an African. I am born of the people of the continent of Africa.
The pain of the violent conflict that the people of Liberia, Somalia, the Sudan, Burundi, and Nigeria is a pain I also bear. The dismal shame of poverty, suffering, and human discretion of my continent is a blend that we all share.
The blight on our happiness that derives from this and from our youth to the periphery of the ordering of human affairs leaves us in a shadow of despair.
This is a savage or two. Nobody should be condemned.
This thing that we have done today in the small corner of a great continent that has contributed so decisively to the evolution of humanity says that Africa reaffirms that she is continuing her rise from the ashes.
Whatever the setbacks of the moment, nothing can stop us now. Whatever the difficulties, Africa shall be at peace. However improbable it may sound to the skeptics, Africa will prosper.
Whoever we may be
whatever our immediate interests, however much we carry baggage from our past, however much we have been caught by the fashion of cynicism and loss of faith in the capacity of the people, let us err today and say, nothing can stop us now.
I am an